Hello everyone, I was just about to go to bed when I saw Girl Defined had put out a video. I looked it over and I knew I couldn't go to sleep without making a video about it. Enjoy!
So gender is just a social construct, and believing in God is a crutch. When you mix them together and give them a whirl, what do you got? Atheist girl!
About a week ago, Girls Defined got a letter from someone who had been sexually assaulted. She was asking what she should be able to do to get her purity back and to be able to be right with God. The Girl Defined have talked about a couple different things and left the impression that they felt that the girl was broken because of what had happened to her. Since then, they have reviewed their video and decided to give an apology, which is included here.
Hey y'all, it's Kristen and Bethany here with Girl Defined Ministries, and today we're going to be talking about why sexual abuse is never okay. As we talk about sexual abuse, we want to first say that this topic is huge and massive, and in one small video we cannot possibly say every important thing that needs to be said on this topic. If you or someone you know has been a victim of sexual abuse, we want to first say that we are deeply sorry. This act is evil, and it breaks our hearts and it breaks God's heart.
In a recent Q&A video that we posted, many of you expressed concern about the non-consensual part of her email. We are grateful for your concerns and we completely agree with you. I think we can all agree that in spite of our religious background or upbringing, that we are all responsible for the sexual choices that we freely and willingly choose to make. And I think we can all agree that we are not responsible for the sexual abuse that happens against us without our consent.
So far, so good. I can agree with them that yes, you're not responsible for what someone's done to you, and you are responsible for what choices you make. We might disagree on what the consequences of those choices are, but you are responsible for what choices you make. We can agree so far.
However, looking back, we can clearly see now that not addressing the non-consensual sexual part was a huge oversight on our part.
It was, and I'm glad that you're taking time to look back at it and review what y'all said.
In fact, we want you to know that you are not damaged goods as a result of sexual abuse.
That's a good statement, because the video that we watched previously gave us the impression that you thought she was damaged goods, so it's good to know that you're clarifying what you're saying, and that just because you're a victim of a sexual assault, you are not damaged good.
Your worth, value, and identity are not determined by what evil people do against you. Your worth, value, and identity is determined by the loving God who created you.
And here's where it starts to go off the rails. God doesn't determine how much you're worth or valuable. There's quite a different ways to judge it, but ultimately, you're worth what you think you're worth. And no matter what other people say, don't let them affect how you view yourself.
Number 3, seek professional help. Go to a licensed professional counselor, contact a doctor, call 911, go to the hospital, whatever you need to do to seek professional help. Don't be too scared to take that step.
We can't urge you enough to take those steps seriously, and we're going to link important information below, so if you are in that type of situation, you can get the help that you need.
Okay, they're back on track. They're talking about how you should get help, and they're suggesting counseling, which is great. And they said at the bottom they're going to put some links about how to get help. And I looked at the bottom of their links, and they had a couple of places to contact. But for counseling, they put biblicalcounseling.com/counselors. In case you don't know it, the biblicalcounseling.com are not licensed counselors in what you're thinking of. I could go into detail, but I think Shannon Q has a better video explaining what these kind of counselors are. But you should know they are not the degrees you think they are. They don't give you the help you think you're going to get. And it's all based on the Bible rather than what we know about the human mind.
No one can ever take your worth away. There is no one and no thing in this entire world that can take your worth away, because the Creator God is the one who created you. He designed you, and He is the only one that can say what gives you worth and what doesn't. And nowhere in Scripture will you ever see God saying, okay, this has happened to this person, so they're less valuable. That sort of mindset just doesn't exist.
Again, it's not God who determines your worth, and it's not other people, it's yourself. However, she says that the Bible does not in any place say that because you've been used, you're worthless. Except if we go into Deuteronomy, we find Deuteronomy 22 verses 23. If a man happens to meet in town a virgin pledged to be married and he sleeps with her, you shall take both of them to the gate of the town and stone them to death. The young woman because she was in town and she did not scream for help, and the man because he violated another man's wife. You must purge evil from among you. But if out in the country a man happens to meet a young woman pledged to be married, and he rapes her, only the man who has done this shall die. Do nothing to the woman. She has committed no sin, deserves no death. The case is like someone who attacks and murders a neighbor. For the man found the young woman out in the country, and though the betrothed screamed, there was no one to rescue her. What we're hearing here is if you're in town and you're raped and you don't scream and alert people that you're being raped, you are no longer of value. You are just set to be put to death. That is messed up.
We also want you to know this, that you still have a beautiful future. The enemy would love for the things that have happened to us, the things in the past, the things in the present, to distort our perspective and for us to buy into the lie that we're done, that we're used good.
Being the victim of abuse will change the trajectory of your life. Things you had planned might not happen. You might have a lot to deal with, and your life may be completely changed. But there can still be good. Now in here she talks about how you're not damaged goods. Except the only place I ever hear this kind of talk is from religious groups, Christian and Muslim, talking about if you are no longer a virgin, you're damaged. The more people you have, the more you're like a piece of chewed gum. So the kind of people who will tell you that you're damaged good are the kind of people right now who are talking about how you're not damaged goods. It's a bit of a conflict between what they say now and what they normally will say to you.
God knows about your abuse and he didn't condone it.
The all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving God knew about your abuse, but didn't do anything to stop it. He didn't condone it, but he didn't do anything to stop it. That is condoning from someone who could have stepped in and stopped it, but did not do it. Hey everyone, I know this was a short one. I wasn't planning on doing a video tonight. I just wanted to get this edited and put out as fast as possible because I think what the Girls Defined are doing, their apology is good, but then they go on and put out some very harmful information, and I want this to be available so people can find out there are ideas here that aren't great. Thank you, and I guess I gotta say it anyway. Like and subscribe and hit the bell. I really want to hear from you. If you disagree with me, let me know. I'd be happy to listen and talk about what I think and reply to people. Have a good day.